Welcome to It's Good to Be Smart. I'm your host, Dr. Dave Mulder. I love to learn new things, and I hope you do too, because it's good to be smart. Today, we're stepping back in time, way back to the late 1700s, to meet a country doctor whose simple idea saved millions of lives. You've probably heard of vaccines. You've probably gotten a few shots yourself, maybe for the flu, COVID, or something like tetanus. But have you ever wondered where the idea of a vaccine came from? Let me introduce you to Edward Jenner, a man who didn't even know what a virus was, but still managed to launch one of the most powerful tools in medical science. Let's get into it. Before we can talk about Jenner, you have to understand the terrifying disease he was up against, smallpox. Smallpox was one of the deadliest diseases in human history. It caused high fevers, painful rashes, and oozing blisters all over the body. If you survived, you were often left blind or severely scarred. If you didn't survive, well, that was common, too. In some outbreaks, smallpox killed 30 out of every 100 people who caught it. Yikes. By the 1700s, smallpox had been killing people for centuries. It didn't matter if you were rich or poor, young or old, even kings and queens weren't safe. Edward Jenner grew up in the English countryside, where he spent time observing nature, animals, and farming life. As a young doctor, he noticed something curious. See, there was another disease called cowpox. It was way milder than smallpox, just a few blisters on the hands and then it went away. Cowpox mostly showed up in people who worked with cows, like milkmaids. But here's where things get really interesting. People said that once someone had cowpox, they never got smallpox. Jenner started to wonder, was there a connection? This is where the story turns into a detective mystery. Jenner didn't know anything about viruses. No one did. Viruses wouldn't be discovered until over 100 years later. But Jenner used what he did have, observation and evidence. He collected stories. He talked to milkmaids. He asked questions. And slowly, a pattern emerged. People who had gotten cowpox seemed protected from smallpox. Now, this part of the story might sound wild to us today, but remember, Jenner was trying to solve a deadly problem with the tools he had. In 1796, Jenner met a local milkmaid named Sarah Nelmis, who had cowpox. He took some of the fluid from her cowpox blisters and did something unthinkable by today's standards. He scratched it into the arm of an 8-year-old boy named James Phipps. James got a mild fever and a few blisters, just like someone with cowpox. Then, weeks later, Jenner exposed him to cowpox. Okay, time out. Yes, that sounds risky. But at the time, people were already doing something even riskier called variolation, where they gave people a small dose of smallpox itself to try to build up immunity. Guess what? James didn't get sick. Jenner's idea worked. Jenner called his new method vaccination from the Latin word vacca, which means cow. Yep, that's right. Your vaccine has a cow in its name. At first, people were skeptical. Scientists didn't understand how diseases worked, and some folks were afraid of this strange new idea. But over time, more and more doctors repeated Jenner's experiments. His methods worked again and again. Soon, vaccination began to spread across Europe and eventually the world. And Jenner? He didn't try to get rich. He shared his research freely because he believed it belonged to everyone. Let's take a step back. What makes Edward Jenner so important? Yes, he invented the first vaccine, but even more importantly, he showed how science is built. Start with observations, like noticing that milkmaids didn't get smallpox. Ask questions. Then form a hypothesis, a statement of what you think will happen based on the evidence. Test that hypothesis carefully, and share your results. Jenner worked in a time before germ theory, before microscopes powerful enough to see viruses, and yet, he helped lay the foundation for the science of immunology, the study of how our bodies fight disease. Because of Jenner, we eventually developed vaccines for diseases like polio, measles, chickenpox, and yes, COVID-19. And get this, in 1980, the World Health Organization declared that smallpox had been completely eradicated. That means it's gone from the planet forever. That's the power of vaccination. So the next time you roll up your sleeve for a vaccine, remember, you're part of a story that started with a cow, a clever doctor, and a whole lot of curiosity. Thanks for joining me for this episode, and nice work leveling up your brain power today. Remember, smart isn't something you are, it's something we become as we're learning. So keep listening, keep learning, and keep getting smarter every day. It's Good to Be Smart is created and produced by me, Dr. Dave Mulder, with the support of the National Science Foundation through the Robert Noyce Teacher Scholarship Program. Subscribe to this feed so you'll never miss an episode. And check out our home on the web, goodtobesmart.com. Until next time, keep asking questions, stay curious, and keep learning, because it's good to be smart.